What's going on, everyone? Tech Me Out here, and in today's video I'm making a response to a question that I get pretty often from some of you, which is how do I edit my videos? So what I'm going to do is share with you the gear that I use as well as the editing process that I use. Now, every product that I mentioned will be linked down below in the description box in the event that you want to check it out for yourself. But if you're excited about this video, let me know by hitting that like button right now. So without any further ado, let's talk. Now, this editing process has been revamped multiple times, and it probably will get revamped again, but in the meantime, this is the process and the gear that I currently use. So firstly, what I shoot all of my videos with is the Canon 60D. It gets the job done for the most part, and of course, I would love to upgrade it because I want autofocusing and also the option for 4K, but in the meantime, this one is at least getting the job done. Now, the lens that I tend to use most of the time is the Sigma 18-135, and I gotta say, I love this lens, truly. To me, it's changed the way my videos look by providing a more sharper and pleasing image that's packed with tons of versatility to go from a wide shot to a close-up shot. And it's actually kind of replaced my other two lenses that I was using prior to owning this one. So prior to having this one, I was using a wide-angle Canon 14mm lens and also a Canon 50mm lens for my close-up shots. Both performed well, but I needed a little bit more versatility, so I started looking at this one via the recommendations of a lot of other content creators. But I was holding off on getting it because of the price. It was a little bit more than I cared to spend at the time, so that's why I invested in the other two lenses. But I gotta say, when I did finally take that plunge on the Sigma lens, I was very, very pleased. I was blown away by the quality that this lens offered, and all I kept thinking was that I wish I had purchased this sooner. But better late than never, right? It is now my go-to lens, and it's the one that I can confidently recommend to anyone that wants a versatile lens that's gonna let them get great wide shots as well as close-up shots, all within one package. Definitely worth the investment. Now, I sit this camera on my Manfrotto 055XDB tripod that's equipped with the 128LP micro fluid head. So it pans well, and like my camera, it gets the job done, but I do want to upgrade it soon because adjusting the legs on this tripod isn't quite as easy and convenient for me as I want it to be. And honestly, when I bought it, I thought it was another version that gave me overhead shots, but I just never returned it, so I've just been using it ever since. So now I find myself in a situation where I want to get some really nice overhead shots of whatever I'm recording, so the need to upgrade to a new tripod is getting stronger. Now, in regards to my audio, pretty much all of it is recorded using the Blue Yeti as well as the SmartLav Plus and the Zoom H1. Now, the mic that I'm currently using to record this video is my Blue Yeti, and I have it on a mic stand pretty much placed out of the frame, but it's sitting right in front of me. So all of these options are great to me and quite affordable, especially if you need some quality audio equipment for a reasonable price. Now, when it comes to editing, I run everything on my MacBook Pro Retina 15-inch. I don't recall all the tech specs off the top of my head, but I'll throw them somewhere in the video now for those that are curious. I really enjoy editing videos off of my MacBook Pro versus a desktop because it's versatile. So I can sit at home and edit videos using a monitor, or I can take it with me on the go and be able to edit while I'm away, which is a super plus for me, at least, because who doesn't want the best of both worlds? Now, when I edit at home, I pretty much plug this into my 34-inch monitor, the LG UM95. This is a beast of a monitor. I enjoy editing on it because of the size of the screen, which is massive. It's so massive that it actually helped me figure out why a curved monitor might be better, as the edges extend out so far on this monitor that I find myself quite often overlooking them, but with the curved monitor, I feel it would bring the edges of the screen closer to me, which would then make it a bit better for viewing. Now, prior to getting this monitor, I was pairing my MacBook with an iMac computer, which I really wasn't even using it as a computer and only as a monitor. And the reason I was doing that was because the iMac was so old, it just wasn't feasible to edit on. Now, the issue that I had with this particular setup was the resolution on the iMac. It was like a 2011 iMac, so it wasn't properly displaying things as I would normally see it on my MacBook. So that's when the investment came in for the LG UM95. And I did pause on this purchase as well because of the price of the monitor. But like the camera lens, I'm happy that I took that plunge because it has made my workflow much more efficient and has provided me a very pleasing image to look at when it comes to just casual use of my computer, but more so when it comes to video editing, because it properly matches the resolution on my MacBook and then some. Now, when I'm sitting at home, I link this to the monitor via a Thunderbolt cable, and I edit my videos using using Final Cut Pro X. I've never used Adobe Premiere. Even when I started my channel, I started it using iMovie, and then once I mastered that, I moved on to Final Cut, which, might I add, I have been very satisfied with. So I tend to shoot a video and then I add B-roll over it to add some dimension to the video to make it more interesting and pleasing to watch. I also add different effects like graphics and such to spice things up as well. And while we're speaking about these things, it's only fitting to thank my sponsor for today's video by providing me with some images to help along the way of creating this video and future videos. For all my content creators or creators in general, here's a resource to grab some 100% royalty-free images for your personal or business use, which means you can't get sued by copyright holders for commercial use or recreational use of these images in your projects. Now, what I like about Graphic Stock is that they give you a ton of different graphics, photos, vectors, and images to choose from, as they do have the largest library to choose from. Now, a lot of websites that I've stumbled across can charge as much as $30 per image, whereas with Graphic Stock, on the other hand, your membership grants you access to an unlimited amount of downloads. So if this sounds like something that you might be interested in, there is a 7-day trial for you down below in the description box that you can take advantage of. And what it will grant you is 140 downloads from anything on their website. Or if this is something that you already know you want and you don't need the 7-day trial, you can jump in on their annual plan, which is $99, and it provides you with unlimited access to over 300 images. Now, with all this editing going on, I don't want to boggle down my hard drive on my computer, so what I do is offsite everything to an external hard drive. If you're familiar with Final Cut's Pro structure, I start by creating what is known as a library, which is entitled the name of the video I'm working on. And I let this library live on my external hard drive, which varies between a portable SSD and my super slim Seagate drive. Now, I like both of these because of their size and fast speeds, but of course the SSD will perform better. On the contrast though, it is smaller in storage space, so until I upgrade these two options to be one larger SSD option, this is what I work with. And from there, I then archive everything to a 4TB desktop hard drive. Now, I use the MX Master Mouse to assist with the editing process. I used to honestly be so against using a mouse when it came to editing. It just seemed more feasible to use a trackpad, and that's largely because of the type of experience I had with the Magic Mouse. It just set the tone for any mouse in the future from there. It was a no-go. Now, I know it seems like just about every content creator seems to use the MX Master Mouse, and it was so many people talking about it and using it that I don't know, I just had some type of inner desire to just rebel against the trend and just use the trackpad. And I did that until I started catching like cramps in my hand from using it so much. So I had to evaluate other options. So that's when the MX Master Mouse came in, and from there the rest was history. I fell in love with it due to the options to customize the buttons on it, as well as the versatility options to pair it with more than one device and easily switch between the 3 that you have paired. So needless to say, that is what I'm using, and that is what I'm currently enjoying using. Now, for those that are curious about the lights that I use, it varies greatly based upon, where I'm sitting at to record the video. So I'm going to pretty much link all the lights that I use down below in the description box, along with everything else that I have mentioned in this video. And I want to say that pretty much sums everything up in terms of my editing process that I can at least think of. But if there's something regarding this process or the gear that I use that you're curious about, you can feel free to drop it down below in the comments section, and I will do my best to answer it. But if you made it this far in the video and you still haven't hit that like button or subscribe button, feel free to do so now. And if you want to take that support to another level of awesome, then definitely go ahead and hit that share button too. Let's continue to build this squad of #TeamTMO. But that's going to sum everything up for this one. As always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.